A nation loses its soul when it loses three things. Justice, when we know that the rule of law will be followed, that the bad guys will be caught, and that the good guys will be protected. That average citizens can rely on the justice system to support them, to be there for them, to right injustices, and to prevent abuse. Empathy, that there's a system where we understand that citizens deserve respect, and we need to be able to empathize when there's hardship so that we can enact policies and organize the government around improving the welfare of people based on our empathy for each other. And the third thing is accountability, that when things go wrong, when mistakes are made, when people are harmed by the actions of a government, however ill or well-intentioned, that there is accountability, that mistakes are owned up to, that sanctions happen, and that people, if necessary, lose their jobs over it too. Those are the three foundational pillars of the soul of a nation. Abrego Garcia, a man in Maryland, his wife a US citizen, his son a US citizen, was picking up his kid, his 5-year-old son, from kindergarten, a disabled young boy who needs extra support. And just as he was doing that, ICE came, snatched him away, and took him away from his family. His wife, beside herself, had no idea where he'd been taken and received no notification or information about his whereabouts. She was bereft and beside herself with her disabled son. He was simply lost and disappeared. And then, when the footage appeared of the people who ICE had deported to a horrific El Salvador prison, where they were showing off, and where a member of Trump's administration was standing in front of a jail with a $50,000 watch, bragging about where they send and deport criminals to in El Salvador, snatching them off the streets in the US. She spotted behind her husband in one of the jail cells. She couldn't believe it, so she contacted the authorities. This is a man who had protected status in the United States because he himself was a victim of gang crime and was protected and allowed to stay in the US legally. And yet he was snatched away, claimed to be an illegal immigrant and a gang member himself. None of which is true. The White House then acknowledged that yes, a clerical error was made, but that they are going to do nothing about it. And to this day, he remains rotting in an El Salvador prison with his wife and children in Maryland without him, and no prospect of seeing him again.
A Maryland father with protected legal status was deported to El Salvador by mistake. The Trump administration acknowledged he was deported because of an administrative error, but it argued it couldn't bring him back because he is now in El Salvadoran custody.
We know that Kilmar Abrego Garcia came to the U.S. in 2011 from El Salvador when he was 16, and in 2019, an immigration judge, Mugo, actually granted this man legal protection from deportation. He was granted something called withholding of removal, which is given to foreigners, immigrants here in the U.S. who are able to prove in immigration court that they could be persecuted if they are deported to their home country.
Where is the justice in that? Where is there even a drop of empathy in this? And where is their accountability? They have admitted an error took place, but they will do nothing to fix it because they have no empathy. They have no desire to make amends.
You got to get scared that people who are not criminals are getting lassoed up and deported and sent to El Salvador prisons. This is kind of crazy that could be possible. That's horrific.
And how many more are there like this? We only know about this case because coincidentally, the government official who was bragging about deporting illegal immigrants to El Salvador happened to be standing in front of a jail cell that contained this man. How many other people have been disappeared without any due process, without any legal representation, and without any hope of seeing their family again? Day by day, we appear to be truly watching a nation losing its soul. Thank you for watching my video. I'm a psychiatrist. I'm also interested in philosophy and public policy and politics. I aim to make a number of videos about these subjects and particularly the intersection between them. If you're able to like and subscribe to this channel, then it'll really help, and also put in some comments whenever you can. That'll really help the algorithm. It'll really help promote this channel to other people. Now, beyond that, we are all, unfortunately, at the behest of a very small number of people who seem to run everything these days. And we are all at the whim of a tech oligarch who could decide tomorrow to end a channel like this because it's not in their favor. And because of that, I've set up a kind of email newsletter, which you can subscribe to. At the top of the channel, you'll see a web address. Please go there and subscribe to my newsletter. That way you can stay in touch with the videos I'm making. At least we can keep the content flowing. So I hope you can do that. And I hope we can keep talking and also gain clarity, not just about what's happening right now, but how we can get through this, how we can improve things to make a better tomorrow together. Thank you.